Welcome, dear viewers, to Couch Warrior TV on YouTube. I'm the Couch Warrior, and this is a channel update. Wanted to go over a lot of different things, actually. There's so many things going on. Let's start out with the new series called Ashes. It is a Skyrim serial adventure. The primary character is Marl, the Dunmer Mage. This story started about 3 weeks ago, and we are 3 episodes in right now, technically 3 episodes into Marl's story. However, there is a companion story that goes along with Marl's story that has also released 3 episodes. So in effect, we are at 6 episodes. So a little bit about this. I'm doing 2 companion stories because I'm looking for 2 different kinds of experiences. Having just come off of The Passage, which ended up being almost 130 episodes long and featured, I guess, kind of a ranger archer character type. I polled viewers, and the consensus was that they wanted to see a Couch Warrior story experience that featured a mage. So we're actually going to be doing 2 mages. The first story, Ashes, features Marl, who, as I said, is a Dunmer. He's primarily focused on conjuration and destruction, very much kind of a necromancer type of character. But in terms of personality, he's very different. This particular series is really deep into role play. It's almost entirely voiced. There are a lot of NPCs and other characters involved. There's a lot of interaction between characters. The emphasis is really on role play and storytelling, and Marl starts at second level, and then we kind of watch him grow over the course of the story. Now, he's an unusual character in that he's somewhat elderly, eccentric, he's got some maladies, but he's a lot of fun, and the feedback that I've gotten on that character has been really amazing so far, and I really am enjoying playing him. So I encourage you to check that out. It's kind of a different take on Skyrim, and it's a lot of fun. There's some humor there, there's some storytelling there, there's a lot of voice acting, things like that, so that is pretty fun. And again, that one is called Ashes. I'm just billing it as a Skyrim serial adventure. It is not 100% roleplay. It's probably, I would say, 90 to 95% roleplay focused. We do break into commentary from time to time just so that we can talk about game mechanics and leveling and story ideas and role-playing techniques, things like that. It's a pretty typical Couch Warrior, I guess, gaming experience, if you will. Now, the second series, I'm just billing as Ashes 2. And this is a different character. This is a high-level character experience, and it features a character called the Shadeling. I am simply calling this character a creature of magic. It is unknown what he is, who he is. It's very little is known about his background, but the idea here is that we are getting some variety. So this is a high-level gaming experience. Shadeling comes in at level 50 and increases from there. And this is not focused on roleplay as much. It's more focused on commentary and game mechanics and experimentation. But the Shadeling story is integrated with Marl's, so the 2 stories kind of fit together. Now, Ashes 2 is a Patreon exclusive story. So in order to get access to Ashes 2, you need to be a Patreon subscriber of $1 or more. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit more later. Now, the Shadeling is extremely fun to play. And because of that, because of the interesting and experimental gameplay that comes with the Shadeling character, there is also another series that I am going to be launching here very soon called Shadeling Assassin. And basically what this is it's a series of small featurettes, if you will, that are focused on the Shadeling. And Patreon subscribers are able to go to our Discord server and submit contracts for assassinations. And as a Patreon subscriber, you can dictate the rules, and then I will go out and attempt an assassination on the target as dictated by our Patreon subscribers and make a video about it, and then I'll be releasing those. I do not have a release schedule for those quite yet, but that is just one more perk that our Patreon subscribers have access to. Now, contracts will be submitted through our Discord server, which can be found at discord.charactercrusade.com. There you will find a text channel that is Shadeling's inbox, and there is a particular format for submitting those. You can follow the format, submit assassination contract, and then I will go through those and try to make my way through those contracts one at a time. So the format for this is kind of fun and interesting. I don't really know how long each episode's going to be. It just depends on the complexity of the assassination. But the format basically is that the Patreon subscriber gets to dictate not only the target, but also the rules of the assassination. So the rules can be anything like the order of kills. It can be the approach. It can have something to do with spell selection, things like that. Now, I guess as the person who has created this character, I also, however, reserve the right to reject certain rules if I don't feel like they are in the spirit of who the character is. So the Shadeling is really focused on kind of mage, illusion, assassin type of work. So if I get any contracts that say, you know, kill this person with a battle axe or something, I'm going to seriously consider whether or not that's a legit request or not. So I'm going to reserve the right to kind of tweak those a little bit, or possibly even eliminate some entirely if they don't conform to the rules as laid out on the Discord server. So with regard to these series, with both Ashes and Ashes 2, I am currently on a weekly production schedule. So, one episode of Marl's story per week, as well as one episode of the Shadeling story per week. And as I said, those two stories are related. Now, what I've strived to do is make sure that they're not absolutely dependent on one another, but that they're an enhancement to one another. So, eventually, the Shadeling episodes will be released to the public, but it's going to be about a month wait for people who are not Patreon subscribers. So if you are a Patreon subscriber, that is the way that you will be able to keep up on what's going on with the story kind of in real time. If you are not a Patreon supporter of at least $1 per month, you're always basically going to be perpetually 4 weeks behind on everything. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I've tried a lot of different things in the past for Patreon campaigns, and what I discovered is that the best reward that I can give is the reward of content, because that's what people come to my channel for anyway. People who are subscribers to Couch Warrior TV are subscribers because they like my content, they like the style in which I produce the content and all that. So I thought, what better gift to give back than content itself? So some of this stuff is really just designed to be a big fat thank you to everybody who has taken the time to support me. And I think it's worth mentioning that, you know, I don't often talk about anything that goes on in my personal life, but when it comes to a Patreon campaign, I feel like it's useful for you as supporters to kind of understand where the money is going, why it's important, and why every single dollar counts. I am a busy man. I have a full-time job. I have a career that I've been engaged in for quite a long time. I'm a user experience designer. I work for a software development firm, and I run a small team of UX designers and front-end developers. We're very busy, so there's a lot going on career-wise. I also work a part-time job slinging coffee for a well-known and established purveyor of coffee around the world. So I do that several hours a week. Plus, I have, you know, a family and a family life that is important, obviously. And I have this YouTube channel, which is my passion. My goal is to use the Patreon campaign to eventually be able to build it up to the point where I can basically quit the part-time job, that Patreon and YouTube will make just enough money for me to be able to quit that job so that I can devote the hours that I would spend slinging coffee making content for you guys. That's really what this is all about for me. So I just wanted you to know what some of my objectives were. I think it's important that you know something of what my goals are, so that as you invest money in my Patreon campaign in whatever amount, you understand what I'm working toward and you can appreciate the goals when I hit them. So we've got a lot of other cool things going on as well. One is our classic tabletop RPG live streams. We have been just calling them RPG Live, and we are playing a classic tabletop adventure role-playing game. The game we are playing is called Pathfinder, and the setting that we are playing in is called Freeport City of Adventure. We started this the beginning of the year, and it's been going very well. We've got 6 episodes under our belt so far out on YouTube. You can watch those. We live stream Pathfinder every 2 weeks. So I think in total, we get somewhere between 5 and 6 hours of playtime per month. That is all done live so that you can watch. You can engage in conversation on YouTube. You can catch that stream also on Twitch. We've also got ongoing discussions about what we're doing in our Pathfinder RPG Live sessions going on our Discord server. So there's a lot of opportunity for interaction to follow the characters. You'll also find on our website at charactercrusade.com a full list of all the characters, along with updated character sheets that you can download and look at in PDF form and follow the progress of the characters. Now, for us, this isn't just a fun thing to do. It is also a direct tie-in to our podcast. So for those of you who are familiar with Character Crusade podcast, that podcast is really focused on this idea of character development. And a lot of the concepts that we discuss around character development were, I guess, originated in our tabletop role-playing game sessions when we were younger. And these are things that we have extended to other media, such as video gaming, especially RPGs. So for us, the RPG live stream is really an opportunity to kind of get back to our roots with a classic tabletop role-playing game. It's a ton of fun, and it allows us to take some of those things that we apply in the podcast and apply them in a completely different medium, which I think reinforces a lot of the techniques that we discuss and all that kind of stuff. So if you have a chance, feel free to tune in. Like I said, we live stream every other Monday night. We have a live stream coming tonight, as a matter of fact, that will be starting at about 7 p.m. We live stream every other Monday night starting at 6 p.m. and going until 9 p.m. Some of those nights are all RPG content, and some of those nights are first a Skyrim podcast followed by RPG content. So tonight we are doing the Character Crusade podcast from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, we'll be doing our RPG Live Pathfinder session. So please log in, check it out, have some fun, join us, and see if you like it or not. You can also check out the recorded sessions on YouTube. We also have audio versions of the recorded sessions in our podcast stream, which you can get to from the website, or you can go to SoundCloud and find us on SoundCloud. We've got all that stuff out there. You can even find those episodes in whatever your favorite podcast app is. So our RSS feed goes out through iTunes to all of those. So if you're using anything like just the vanilla Apple podcast application, or you're using something fancy like Overcast, Character Crusade podcast should appear in the indexes on any of those applications. So feel free to check it out and maybe have a look at our backlog of podcasts. There's a lot of good information there, including answers to listener questions having to do with character development and making Skyrim a more interesting and, I guess, transformative kind of experience. We're very focused on trying to make better games for people who are on, their third, fourth, 10th playthrough of Skyrim. And I think by focusing on some of these techniques, which really revolve around creating deeper, more interesting characters, you can get, I think, a completely different view of the world of Skyrim. It can feel very, very different from one character to another, very fresh, new, interesting. So feel free to check that out. We've got a sizable backlog of episodes that are chock full of ideas, things that you can do to enhance your game and make it more fun. I think our presentation as well, since we've done the live streams, it's very interesting. You are not going to find many podcast streams on YouTube that are more interesting and fun to participate in than ours. And some of that has to do with just our dedication and commitment to doing things our own way. So we do green screen stuff. We really focus on the content. We really try to make them visually engaging rather than having, a bunch of people on separate screens all tuned in from their basements, through Skype or something like that. All three of us are in the same room. We're all talking to one another, and we have, big panoramic Skyrim backgrounds going on, stuff like that. We also are committed to the mod community. We have interviewed a number of modders, a number of YouTubers, a number of role players, storytellers, writers. We go to whatever sources we think are going to provide the best, most interesting content for those of us who want to create really deep characters with rich backgrounds and so forth. So there's a lot more on offer there, I think, than just the standard Skyrim fare. Yes, we talk about our characters. Yes, we talk about our experiences. But we also take a deep dive into how to do things like create rich character backgrounds, how to use particular mods to make a flavored playthrough, if you will, or a focused playthrough. And then all of those things end up being implemented not only in our RPG games, but also in some of the series that I've done on YouTube and some of the series that Joe is doing and in his writing, things like that. So we've got a large community of people who have kind of adopted us as their go-to podcast, and we really, really do appreciate that. So, and, this is another example of where some of the money from Patreon actually ends up going. It goes into things like helping us set up the live stream, helping us find better equipment, helping us enhance the video version of the podcast by figuring out how green screen works, getting the lighting set up and built, all that kind of stuff. And it doesn't take a lot. So let me tell you, let me just say, a person doesn't make a lot of money in a month at a coffee shop, okay? Especially if you're working, 15 hours a week. And through the generous support of Patreon subscribers, I've already managed to make it halfway there. I'm halfway to being able to leave that coffee shop job and dedicate those 15 hours a week to this, to the content that you love. That's where I would really like to be. So that's why every single dollar is important. And I think that it's worth mentioning that, and if you tune into tonight's podcast, you'll see this. When we talk about our new Patreon subscribers, it's absolutely incredible. Since our last Skyrim podcast, which was mid-February, we've gotten over 40 new Patreon subscribers. That is incredible. I mean, up to that point, up until a month ago, we were lucky to have 25, and we had been running our campaign for over a year. Now suddenly, within 1 month, we've acquired 40 new Patreon subscribers, 40 people who decided the content was worth it. And it's made me realize that this is the right way to go forward. Giving back bonus content in exchange for Patreon support is going to be way better any day of the week for this audience than something like a t-shirt, right? So I'm willing to put the work in. If you're willing to throw your support behind me, I'm only asking for $1 a month. As a matter of fact, you can't even get a decent cup of coffee for $1. I mean, so I think the value is definitely there. And I'm always looking for new ways to provide with that community. And in addition, the Patreon subscribers are wonderful because they're people that I go to frequently to ask questions about things, to see what direction people want to see the channel go, what additional content they would like to see. There are a lot of kind of unspoken perks to being a Patreon supporter, so I really do appreciate it very much. Now, on our Discord server, we also have a couple Patreon-only channels. We have a voice channel, and if you give at $5 a month or more, you have access to the Patreon voice channel, which means you can get on Discord server and you can have a private discussion, an actual voice conversation with other Patreon subscribers on the Discord channel. And we make that available to you so that if you ever want to use it while you're playing other games, things like that with other Patreon subscribers, you can use it as sort of your voice chat tool if you want. We also provide some additional perks. We've got some custom emojis. We've got some custom levels of access, stuff like that. So that's just, I guess, one other interesting little perk there. So what else is going on that's cool? Well, we've always got things going on, and I'm not the only one here. Obviously, I'm the Couch Warrior, so I'm creating most of the videos that you see here, but we also have Character Crusade podcast, which includes Joe and Matt, and they have projects of their own. So a couple cool things, right? Check out the Discord server to talk to other members of our community. There's an interesting little group there that is working on a lot of writing projects. You can go to discord.charactercrusade.com and talk to other people who really care about role-playing games and about character development and story writing, things like that. Joe is also setting up a camp for Nanowrimo this year. If you're not familiar with Nanowrimo, Nanowrimo is a program where a couple of times a year, time is set aside with the idea that you're going to kind of create little support groups to try and encourage each other to write more, to just write. You make a word goal for yourself at Camp Nanowrimo, and then you get together with some other people in a cabin, essentially an online cabin, and you provide support to one another to help people reach their writing goals. And so Joe has set up a camp this year. You can go to www.campnanorimo.org. That is spelled www.campnanorimo.org. So I think it's something like an acronym for National Novel Writing Month or something like that. If you go there, you can actually set up an account, set up a placeholder project for whatever you think you're going to write about. And then if you're interested in getting into Joe's cabin specifically, you can reach out to him. He's the Panicked Monk on our Discord server. He's got 8 or 9 slots left open in his cabin. Just let him know that you're interested, and then he can look you up on the NaNoWriMo website, get you added into the cabin, and then when things kick off, you'll be able to have kind of a little ready-made support group here that you can go to anytime you want to on Discord, ask questions, have discussion, look for ideas, help you break that writer's block, really get your ideas down. If you want to see some examples of what can be accomplished through NaNoWriMo, you can take a look at our website, charactercrusade.com. Joe has a whole bunch of great stuff up there, a number of different stories that he has written. One of those, well, a lot of that writing actually comes from Camp NaNoWriMo last year, where he set a goal for himself of, I think, 16,000 words and accomplished it in 2 weeks. So if you go out there and take a look, you'll find a lot of stuff. He's got a whole bunch of stories and journal entries for a character of his called Enaroth. There is a table of contents out there you can use to easily navigate through all of that stuff. There's a story regarding the House of Troubles, which is correlated to a mod that we constructed last year as part of one of our mod projects. He's got another story out there called A Rift in Time. A lot of good writing is being done out there. You'll also find a lot of fan artwork and some artwork by Katie Bryson. Big thanks to her. She is providing us with support on the website, and she's got a really cool gallery out there of kind of Skyrim and character-related artwork that you can check out. Also, Joe, the Panicked Monk, has his own YouTube channel. If you're interested in checking that out, you can look him up on YouTube. Again, he's called the Panicked Monk. He's got a story going right now. We just released episode 13, I believe. It's called Lost in Time and features some really, really unique things, including a lot of work that he has done doing pieces in his story where he actually speaks in the Dwemer language, and he has gotten pretty good, I think, at speaking the language in a way that sounds fluent. The character in the story is actually of Dwemer origin. So there's a lot of cool things going on there from the production perspective and also from the lore perspective. Really unique approach, I think, to a Skyrim Let's Play. So that is about it, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we have a podcast. We're going live tonight. There's a Character Crusade podcast followed immediately by RPG Live starting at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you want to find us, probably the easiest way to do that, if you're looking for a live stream, is to go to youtube.charactercrusade.com. That'll get you right into where our live streams are going. You can also find us at Couch Warrior TV on Twitch. I will see you next time.